Hi, I'm interviewing Betty from Alimibrew. Stay tuned. Hi
Hello.
Betty,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm fine, thanks.
Come inside.
Thank you for having us here today, Betty.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Tell me more about yourself and your background.
Yeah. Myself, born and bred Cape Townian. Born in Stellenbosch. Grew up all over Cape Town. And went to school, various places. After school, wasted some time, or about a year, on business administration. And then went to go study civil engineering. And then due to various circumstances, I started working at a fairly early age. That's besides the part-time jobs that I've had since standard, I don't know, grade 10. Mostly in restaurants and then call centers as it is. And then my first sales job was at Nasaba, which is a company that does conferencing. So it's a hard sales environment, and it was a baptism of fire for me because I came from customer service. So it's the type of, they call it a boiler room environment. I got used to it, and once I got used to it, started liking it. So I've been selling various things ever since. Around about 2012, I was offered a job by a former colleague from that first company, Nasaba. We both started at the bottom at Nasaba, worked our way up, eventually ended up being divisional managers, or like they call the directors. And he got the sales director job for Groupon at Groupon South Africa. And yeah, the phone call and interview was the same thing. Listen, I need somebody who's got cojones. I've got a sales team that is too good at making excuses. Come in and help me. I didn't know anything about online sales at the time, or how websites work, how selling works online or anything like that. We didn't have the massive Takealot and other online companies that we have now. So Groupon was again another baptism of fire, but when I got there, I realized that is the future. Not so much the discounted sales, but selling online. And from there, I went to a Media24 company that also wanted to do the same thing that Groupon does, but the reason behind it was different. So they realized they've got a lot of offline readers, and they needed to convert them to the online space and get people comfortable, firstly, reading things online, but then secondly, also using that to buy online. We were just told one morning, we've got an emergency meeting, and that emergency meeting was, cheers, thank you for your service. And since then, I've been trying to do different things. I've got countless business plans on my laptop, whether it's building a website or using a template, everything is there. So yeah, it's a good idea to try and sell that to people. But anyway, I eventually ended up starting the coffee company because of a failed restaurant business that I had. My barman was Muslim Zimbabwean, who's married to a Malawian, and we had a part-time barista who was actually a champion barista, who's a Malawian married to South Africa. And we started talking just about the possibility of importing coffee from Malawi, and I obviously didn't know what the differences was between Malawian coffee and Kenyan coffee. So they had to educate me, and I said to them, look guys, I can basically do everything other than make the coffee. So should we do this? The three of us do it together. Yeah, my friends and family and wife always tell me that everything that I've done so far, whether I've succeeded or failed, has led me to this point where I am doing things that other people find a challenge, and it comes naturally to me because of the experience that I've got. In short, that is me, my background.
So when is it that you started your own business?
Well, it was roughly a year ago. We bought the first bag in Malawi, but then lockdown hit. So I think it was exactly a year and 1 week ago, the 14th or the 13th of March, we bought the first bag. But because of the pandemic and lockdown, we could only actually start the 15th of September, 2020. 2020. Since then, we've been steadily growing, not necessarily on the sales side, but the business has been taking shape from all sides. Yeah, my passion became coffee. More drinking it and making and selling it, but the business has led me to just be forced to find out more about the process and everything that happens before you have that cup in your hand.
So I'm actually sitting with a coffee connoisseur right now. So, like, what inspires you and keeps you going?
Yeah, connoisseur. I'm not sure I would call myself that yet, but I do love the coffee. I do love coffee, the bean and the process and everything that goes with it. As for what inspires me, I didn't have the chance to finish a lot of things that I've started. My studies, engineering, I didn't get the opportunity. Well, I had the opportunity, but I couldn't finish it. And then I've mentioned all of the failures out there. Previous jobs, things, maybe personal things that I've just messed up also. All of that just weighed in, and I got to the point where, my kids are constantly really reminding me that I'm almost 40, that I'm going to be an old man soon. So it's that my kids they don't know it, and I don't think they see it, but I'd be sitting at home any given morning, and obviously with the school schedule being one day on, one day off now, the minute one of them wakes up, it's a kick in the butt. Like, get working. You're not doing this for yourself. My wife as well, she's behind me all the way. She's one of the few people on this planet who believes that I can do anything that I put my mind to, even at the times when I doubt the most. So yeah, it's them.
Tell us the name Alimibrew and where does it come from?
Myself and two friends, three of us, started the company, and we had this habit of calling each other brothers, even though I am a lighter shade than what they are. We never saw each other as different. Anyway, there's an interesting story about the region that we get our coffee from. It's one of the few regions in Malawi that treat women and men the same. As in, a female farmer or a female farm worker gets paid the same as a male counterpart. The farmers then just got me thinking, got us thinking, and I asked them, listen guys, what is farmers in Chichewa? And it turns out that farmers in Chichewa is Alimi. And then I said, so why don't we just say Alimibrew? If you translate it to English, it's farmer's brew. There's nothing that speaks more about craft coffee than it coming directly from the farmer to the person. So yeah, that's why it's called Alimibrew.
So Perry, we have your products here in front of us. Explain to the viewers what would they be expecting when purchasing your products.
So in short, what you get is a slightly sweet, chocolatey flavor. That's the flavor profile. Very light acidity, a medium body, which just means that you get that familiar flavor from the body of the coffee. And then we sell it in 1 kilogram and 250 gram packs. So you can either have the beans, whole beans, and grind them yourself, or we can give you ground coffee. It's at the moment we grind it standard to suit a plunger or filter coffee machine, because that way you get the most out of it. It's a sort of coarse grind. But if you want it ground finer, then you can take the bean and have it grinded yourself. And so those are the two basic offerings, both 1 kilogram and 250 gram, not kilogram. And then we've got the pods sold in packs of 10. Contrary to what people think, it is actually made from actual filter coffee. So there are just some other stories out there about it. and we sell these in packs of 10, 30, and 50. The pod is more to the light side than the sort of medium dark side, and the reason for that is it's a very specific type of bean, so we've had to grind it slightly differently before it goes into the pod. And that means that it goes through a little bit slower than your normal pods, but somehow it comes out lighter. I think that just attests to the type of bean that we have. So yeah, that is the basic product. In the pipeline, we have got Porca Gold, which is a slightly different kind of bean, but from the same region. It needs to be roasted more to the medium dark side, and that means that there's going to be that flavor that I was talking about earlier, that sort of slightly charred flavor, but still with the chocolatey sweetness. So that's a couple of weeks, maybe months away, and we are also working on decaf coffee, but decaffeinated at milling stage, and not post roasting or just before roasting. So yeah, I'm very excited about those ones. And then once we've got that down, then we'll move on to the other regions that I've mentioned before, a Burundian variant, as well as a Rwandan.
That was very valuable information for avid coffee drinkers. So, what advice would you give existing entrepreneurs or those who want to start their own business?
Yeah, that is a tough question, because I personally have tried to start. I've had many ideas that haven't converted into business. So I think, just thinking back now, the first idea that I had was an online furniture store, and had I done that, I would probably have been quite wealthy by now. So the first thing is go with what you know, and just go for it. That is probably the first one. Yeah, like I said, I could have been quite wealthy now had I done that. The other thing is, be passionate about what you are doing. Find something that you are passionate about, and do that. And the reason for a lot of entrepreneurs say that, a lot of successful business people say that, and the reason why is the less it feels like you are working, the easier it is. And then the other thing is, be prepared for anything. Just mental preparation is enough. You're gonna go through difficult times. Be prepared for it. Be prepared for backlash from family, friends. They're going to go tell you, go for it. You can do it. And then the minute you start, and if 4 months, 5 months in, they ask you a question, how's the business going? And you say, hey, it's not going too well. And then, you'll get, it goes like that. Maybe you must get a normal job. Yeah. Be prepared, and it's the people closest to you that are probably going to be the ones not rooting for not purposefully rooting for your failure, but they're going to be quick to say, maybe you should just let it go and get a normal job. And then the other one is, and it's a big lesson that I've learned over the past year, is ditch perfectionism. Your business plan is never going to be perfect. If your business plan is perfect in your mind, things are never going to run perfectly according to the timeline that you have. The advantage of that is it could go quicker, or it could take longer.
So there you guys have it. That was our interview with Barry. If you have been watching our videos with different businesses, you would have heard the owners speak about the experience and the backgrounds. Most businesses don't get the recognition that they want to have. If you want a jump start to your business, you can contact us and we'll be glad to assist you. Remember to support local businesses, because that is how we grow as a nation. As always guys, remember, you lead, we dare you.